Well, thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here today. Thank you so much.
So tell me a little bit about this book, because this is a fascinating, fascinating read. Tell me a little bit about your book here.
Well, I had a ranch of my own for a number of years, and at one point run about 63 head of horses. And I had one employee, so it was me and one guy. And I was I would leave in the morning at daylight and come back to the house at dark. And
Wow.
I was able to really get to know a lot of the people that were cowboys. And I traveled and I team roped and calf roped to some and rode cutting horses and reining horses and just was able to meet some of the sure enough real life guys that cowboy for a living. And I was one of them. And I just learned so much from the older guys at that time. This was back in the 1970s. And then I just was working one day, and I sat down and decided I was going to write a cowboy poem because I had always enjoyed loving cowboy poetry and getting to meet Waddy Mitchell and Baxter Black and Red Steagall and Tom Chambers and some of the real big cowboy poets. And I just wrote one poem after another and put them in. I got invited out to Elko, Nevada to do the National Cowboy Poetry in 1991. And the guy I was working for at the time, because I was an auctioneer, I had sold the ranch, sold the stock, and found out that I had a PhD in how to lose money in the horse business. And
that's awesome.
And well, true story. I mean, it's if you want to be if you can become a millionaire in the horse business, all you have to do is start with being a multimillionaire. And he he told me that if I left that I wouldn't have a job when I got back, so I had to call and cancel. And I got aggravated and threw these poems in the attic. And I got married 31 years ago, and we just found them in the attic 2 years ago. And I had about 25 that I had finished, and I took them down to have them edited. And my editor said, "What are you going to do with these?" I said, "I'm just going to give them to the children and grandchildren as something to remember me by." And she said, "That was a mistake. These are marketable." And I went, "No, they're not." She said, "Yes, they are. You just need a few more." So she said, "You need about 14 more poems." So I came back home and sat down. 14 days later, I took her 14 more poems. And P.S., A Cowboy Remember comes to life.
Wow.
That's how it came about.
That is pretty fantastic.
That's the Reader's Digest version of how it came about.
Well, that is fantastic. It is Mike Booth. He's with us today here in our broadcast at cowboyremembers.com is the official website. cowboyremembers.com is the official website, and the book is phenomenal. So tell me a little bit about some of the feedback you've gotten on this book so far.
I've been very fortunate. I really have. Almost, and I say this humbly because it sounds like but I don't mean to sound that way. Almost everyone that's bought one book has come back and bought more for their family. And I've traveled throughout Montana, Arizona, Colorado, New Mexico, Texas, doing the cowboy poetry, and it has been so very well received, and I'm just blown away. And one of the poems in there called Our American Flag, probably I have had every veteran that's in the audience almost always comes and says, "Don't ever stop doing that poem." I've been in a room full of 50 poets with their wives, and it was all that was in there was other poets and their wives. And I got a standing ovation from that one. And that it was all I could do to keep from breaking down on that day. That was something really special for me.
Wow. It is Mike Booth. He's with us today. He joins us live here on our big program. He's got an incredible website, cowboyremembers.com. And the book is available. It is fantastic. A Cowboy Remembers. And Mike Booth, the author, joins us today here on our big broadcast. So when you put this book together, you needed a little bit more, a little bit more material. Talk to us about that process and getting it all put together.
Well, there's one called A Ranger's Life, and it's funny. I wrote that one probably in 1988, and when I took it to have it edited, she went, Actually, she didn't say anything about it. It was when we did the audio book, because I've got an audio and a hardback. And when I did the audio book, the guy that was engineering went, well, Mike, I like that, but there's just something missing. He said, it's none of my business. It's your book. You do what you want to do, but there's something missing. And I went, really? And I started thinking about it. I said, you're right. So the absolutely one half, the first half of the poem I wrote now, and the last half of the poem I wrote probably 35 years ago. So, and put the two together and made a single poem out of it. And I thought that was pretty interesting out of that one. I wrote one poem to my wife that I put in the book, and I've written her several during our marriage, but I put that one in the book. And then that was one of the new ones, and I wrote just different ones about dreamers, cowboy people that would sit in the east and dream of going west. Yesteryear, which is one about what happened in the past. A rancher's life, about what I see as a rancher sits in his den, looks through a big bay window and grins because he sees all of his accomplishments that he's made, and looks across his ranch. And those are just some of the new ones that were written. One about the ramrod and the boss, and the ramrod being Jesus, and the boss, of course, being God. That was one of the religious ones that I wrote. So I've written all those are just a portion of the new ones that were written.
We have got a great guest with us today, Mike Booth, with us today. A CowboyRemembers.com is the official website, and the book, A Cowboy Remembers, is now available. So tell me a little bit about who your target audience is for this great book.
Well, it's in the beginning. I mean, I really thought in the beginning that it would be geared towards the cowboys and their families, or people that were at least cowboy oriented, or if you were my age and you used to watch all the westerns on TV. And now I'm finding out that it's like I was playing golf, and a couple of the guys I play golf with, we don't know from nothing about cowboy, but we're going to buy a book from you because we know you. Okay, so they bought the book, and they're going, man, this is pretty good. We have found things in there that we've enjoyed reading it. One guy said, I just bought it because I wasn't even going to crack it, and then I opened it up, started reading it. He said before I knew it, I had completely read the entire book. And so that's the kind of stuff that, I mean, that's what makes it special to me. It's not trying to be a million seller. I'm not trying to sell it to everybody that's walking around. I want to I know it's a niche book and it's a niche market, but it is really because of the patriotic, because of the Christian background of it, and myself being a Christian, that like one I've got called A Conversation with God. That one has really touched so many people when I've done it live. And to me, that's what it's all about more than anything else. Now, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and tell you that I don't want to sell books. I do. But to be honest, if I can change one person's life with this book, if I never sold a single book, it would mean more to me than anything. And I don't even have to know that I changed their lives. I just want to know that one of these will change somebody's life.
We have got Mike Booth with us today. He joins us live here on our big program. So this book, incredibly well written. You put a lot of time and effort into the book. What is next for you as an author?
Well, another book. and my goal is to write a Western novel. And I have been an auctioneer for 47 years. I've recorded 9 albums and sang all over the country, and nothing has affected me and been more exciting to me than this book. And so I'm just determined to write a fiction Western novel, and I'm already 12 poems into another book. And I'm 70 pages into an autobiography that I'm not going to sell, that is for my children, for real.
That's awesome. That's fantastic. Well, Mike, you have quite the book here, my friend, I will have to say. CowboyRemembers.com is the official website. Go over and find Mike Booth's incredible book, A Cowboy Remembers. Thanks for joining us today, my friend. This has been fantastic, and I look forward to chatting with you soon. Have yourself a good Christmas and good New Year, and we will talk to you soon. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much for allowing me to be on your show, and I do wish you the merriest of Christmas and the happiest of New Year's. Thank you, sir.
Definitely.
You have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.
Definitely. You too. Thank you. There he goes. That is the fantastic Mike Booth with us today. He joins us live here on our big program. So we are going to take a brief time out. If I can find my music, if my music will play. And we will take a time out and come back with more. On the other side, you are listening to the world famous Jiggy Jaguar radio broadcast, back here in a few moments.
Jiggy Jaguar Experience. Podcast, video, rebroadcast, all at kjagradio.com. Now back to the Jiggy Jaguar